What's going on, y'all, and welcome back to another Etheria restart video. We just wrapped up our live stream. We had the first day of the patch, you know, the big balance patch plus gameplay patch that came through, and man, guys, this was a doozy. Now the title might be something crazy like best patch in a gacha game ever. Might be slightly clickbait, I apologize, but I'm glad you guys are here watching. That was actually a sentiment that I saw both on Reddit as well as a few people that came through in my chat. Now, I will rate the patch very highly. I won't say it's the best patch I've ever seen across all the gacha games I've ever played, but man, can I say that this is one of the best in terms of quality of life that I've seen, period. And that is, you know, Etheria XD definitely deserves some kudos for delivering on all the fronts that they promised, at least in the patch notes. There are some stuff that I still want to see with the game moving forward. I'll probably talk about that at the end, but let's go ahead and just jump straight into it, guys, and talk about my favorite parts of the patch, and then maybe a few other things that people have missed out on. Okay, first off, let's just jump in first to the loadouts, because I think this is the biggest thing that I was asking for, and finally having it in the game. My God, is it a lifesaver, time saver, everything. Just a super convenient quality of life that I can't believe we didn't have in the game until now. So in order to find it, guys, right, just pick any threshold, or sorry, any threshold or shell hunt that you like, and just jump into it. Either continuous or challenge will work. And I want to show you guys something here at the bottom left, and this is perfect because I just finished Anti-Sync. We're on the last boss in nightmare mode. I couldn't complete it just yet. It's actually insane. If y'all haven't gotten a 54 anti-sync, it's quite difficult, but maybe Lillian will help with that. So here we go, guys. I have my team preset, and a lot of times they'll have whatever original team you have just loaded up. However, you want to make sure you set this up correctly and then save it with the replace button, and then you hit the use button after. So let's go ahead and just check here, guys. My Lily, my Shadow Sonya is missing a shell, Obol missing a ton of gear, and then Fangus is missing a bunch of stuff too, right? So I would hit here use, and that's gonna go ahead and throw on the gear that I had already saved, but I set this up at the start of my stream today. So let me go ahead and show you all how to save that. But just in general, the button right here is where you're going to be selecting your team, and kind of just think of this as a quality of life shortcut for a team loadout that is autosave for Hoi An. So it's not going to snapshot your gear. You're going to see that in the arena and PvP section, which we'll cover right after this. But for team loadouts, this is so dang convenient. Think of like when you jump to Aurora, when you jump to Shadow Flame Hoi An, jump to Inferno Rengo Kutsu, then you can just click this one button and everything is completely swapped instantly at you know, the press of a button. So real fast to go ahead and just let's go ahead and just equip that out. Alrighty, y'all, I jumped over to Inferno Rango because this one I don't think I've set up fully just yet. So let's go ahead and show you guys how to set this up just one time, and then from here on out, as long as you don't change anything, you are good to go. One click of a button, all your PvE teams, you just got to get that initial setup. And if you already had them set up, then you're even better off. But I've been swapping gear around, doing like anti-sync and some other stuff, so I got to re-gear all these units up. So this is my, you know, sub 1 minute Inferno Rango clear. Let's go ahead and get them on some you know, their appropriate sets, and then I'll show y'all where to save it. I did show you in the previous you know, when we were looking at Shadow Flame Hoi An, but I'll show y'all again here. And take note of this too, guys. There is a arena loadout as well, which is interesting that it's here too. But let's go ahead and just get Kloss. Let me go ahead and find her set. We'll probably jump on the Halloween. Is this the right set? Maybe the Dark Moon set, but I've actually been noticing, guys, that I prefer. So Dark Moon is not bad because it gives us 3-turn duration. However, I think the Codex of Magic has been a little bit more consistent, even though I'm going to lose out here on the 12 out of 12 Time Weave. I think for me, it's actually been more consistent because as long as she doesn't get silenced early, which is a big question, in which case if she gets silenced early, then the Dark Moon is better. However, if she does not get silenced, then the double or the extra uptime on the add debuffs, I think, is overall better. But yeah, so far I think it's very close between Dark Moon and Codex, but let's try this out here. Yelly, let's double check. Is she on the correct set? No, she is not. She's on our PvP set. So let's go ahead and change Yelly over too, and just find the correct gear set for whatever boss, shell, whichever thing you are rocking. Just get them geared up, and then I'll show y'all how to save it all. So we're looking for Yelly real quick. Yelly DPS, I believe, is what I named it. There we go. Here's the Yelly stats. If you guys have watched my Inferno Rango clear videos, you've seen all my runs, all my stats. And then the Lily also, chat. Here's another one. Sorry, I keep saying chat, but YouTube. I keep calling y'all the wrong name. However, the Lily, I believe, one big thing that has helped me personally has been swapping over to Alicorn And this, I think, is a significant upgrade. So if you guys are able to go on Alicorn on your lilies, I think it is definitely worth it. I might have passed it. Let's see. Lily Rango. Did I skip it? No. It might be further down. Okay. Lily Rango. Help me keep an eye out, guys. Let's see if we can find it here. Viper, Lily Doki, Lily Rango. There we go. Because the Alicorn, a big thing that kind of stops our momentum is when either Lily or Yelly gets silenced. And there's just so much RNG, we want to limit that. So having Alicorn, even over something like Artisan, I think is very good. Anyways, that's not what this video is about, though. We just go ahead and now that we have our units geared up appropriately, if you look at what they're currently equipped with. Oh, wait. Can we not see that here? Okay. Anyways, I guess you can't click that here, but instead we're just going to click the replace button. And that's going to replace this team with the current formation. Okay. So whatever you set, just make sure you all set that here. And then you click the replace. You could also make a separate team too if you want to have like two different, like I could have my Codex and then I could make my Dark Moon version or my Artisan version over Alicorn. You can do that too. But I'm only going to plan to use this one set. So we have that in place now. And just for good measure, we'll click use, right, to get them all on their gear. And as you can see here, now every time I just want to swap back in, even if I take gear off Yelly, even if I swap Lily to a different set, I click that use button and they are good to go with one click of a button. So next, let's talk about the arena loadouts, which I kind of showed you a little bit of, but we can get there one of two ways, right? Obviously, you can jump into the arena realm. Now, this is going to work for all arena modes across Etheria, Summon Arena, and Fearless Arena. So just take note of that. You can click the arena loadout button here. That'll take you to this page. Just make sure also you have to enable the on button. I'm assuming this is maybe there's some people that don't want to have, you know, their stuff snapshot into arena loadout. So you could enable that. It starts on default off. Just go ahead and click that on button and you can click that here, or you can go into your tab screen and go into the arena loadout button here as well. So you can access this from anywhere. You don't have to go into the arena tab itself. But just for, just to show y'all, what should I show y'all first? Should I show y'all my current defense team? So as we can see here, guys, I have a team loaded out here. And maybe we'll do an example team just so I can show y'all like I did with the PvE loadouts. But let's jump back there and look at the arena loadouts real quick. So you're going to see two screens here, right? I showed you all this normal screen. This is our normal loadouts. And then you have your separate arena loadouts. Now, the difference between this and what I showed y'all in the Inferno Rango and the Shadow Flame Hoyan is that these will actually save and snapshot your gear. Think of like in Union Front where you lock in your tower, your units are good there. Even if you swap gear off, they will never change. So in essence, it's not like you're duplicating gear. However, you could put your best sets on that 4-unit lineup on your PvP defense, your arena defense, and I encourage you to do so. What I mean by that is you can make Lily your fastest character, or I could put my fastest Lily gear onto my Ling Lo here, for example, right? And make Ling extremely fast, and then use a fast Lily for PvE stuff, and Ling is going to keep her gear as well as use the, and then let me make this even easier for y'all. I could have the same set on Lily running over in PvE Shadow Flame Hoyan, and then I could have that same Lily gear be on Ling Lo, and none of them will, you know, they won't steal it from each other even though it's the same set. So it's almost like you're double dipping, but that's what you call snapshotting. So we could save our PvP gear, use our best sets, and then still use those best sets elsewhere in PvE. So this is actually something very, very strong, and I think you should min-max upon. It's not even like you're abusing a system or anything. This is how it's intended, so that way we don't ever have to adjust any missing gear and all that. So let's see here, what should I show y'all just as an example? This Ling is actually not very fast, so let's, you know, why don't we make a new set here and we can actually just create a faster Ling Lo. So let's go ahead and go into Ling Lo like I was telling y'all about with the Lily, and let's give her this gear real fast. Can I slap this on her? So this is her current set at 269, right? Let's see if we can make this a little faster, maybe taking the Lily gear that I usually save for Lily. It's like a 340 opener. But if I want to, you know, change this out, let's go ahead and swap this. We'll sort by speed. Let's search for Swift Rush Bloodbath and see if we can get any faster sets. So look at this, guys. We can take a 12 speeder from Lily, right? And that's going to give her +5 more speed. In the front of Bloodbath, we have this right here, which is +12 speed on this Bloodbath piece, which I think is used by either Fusho or Rahu sometimes. It depends. Anything else here that I can upgrade? I have a double F res. These two have speed. Let's see if we can make any upgrades here. This is +5 speed. It does crit damage, so no. We don't really want that. In terms of HP bonus, do we have anything here? The Viper we do use. So we have a +9. Now, guys, obviously HP percent is better. However, I think 9 speed is definitely worth considering. So if I slap that on here for my PvP Ling in the arena section, right? We could actually either use this one or make a new set here. So we could just save this plan and let's just make like, we'll call it Fast Ling. And now that it's in the PvP section, I don't have to call this like PvP Ling, right? So we have Fast Ling Low, 293 speed here, and then that's going to be saved. If I now jump into Ether Arena, let's go in our formation, and now you can see, guys, it's upgraded to the 193 Ling, and as long as I have this section enabled, right, the Arena Loadout, that means Ling Low should be always on her gear there, so we can test this again. Let's go ahead and just, you know, Lily, you can see here she's using those, she's using that speed, the 12 Swift Rush thing I have here. She still has this on. However, even in the arena realm, right, my Ling Low on defense still has this on as well. The same exact piece here, that 12 Swift Rush transducer, just as an example. So I encourage y'all to try and min-max your defense teams at least. And figure out the best sets for them. And then whenever you set in your arena loadouts, we can also start using for the Fearless Arena as well. Right here, guys, the Summit Arena and the Fearless Arena, which is going to save us so much time. And these loadouts, I think Etheria killed it. This is exactly what I needed. This is exactly going to incentivize me to play more PvP. Of course, we still need more lattice, but that'll come hopefully sooner than later. And this is one of the biggest steps in just respecting the player's time and just giving us much easier access to jumping between the different game modes. All right, the next thing I want to talk about, I loaded up a continuous battle 10 out of 10, and we're going to see, you know, just the drop rates of shells. But this is the next big thing of the patch that I think y'all should take note of, and that is we got the second promised follow-up in terms of shell improvements. If you guys can recall, we got that, you know, the Dream Boss that give the double training data. And Jack also told us there would be another change that, you know, in the Hyper Talk, he mentioned we would be getting more mythic shells. So you would know there would no longer ever be a chance for you to get all epic shells if you're doing Inferno content. And let's go ahead and see if that is true here. I didn't actually check in the continuous battle, but apparently at least every 5 runs, you're supposed to get 1 mythic shell. And we did get one here, so that's at least 1. Let's go ahead and check the rest of the loot table. But I believe they said, oh, okay, so we got above average here. But you'll just have to trust me on this. This should already be in effect. I've gotten confirmation from a lot of players that there will no longer be a case of you getting, you know, a very bad streak of RNG where you get nothing but the Slumbas, the, you know, Slumba or the Dream Boss. I think there's a different one. But anyways, the ones, you know, these things that you sell for epic shells, you will now guarantee yourself at least 2 mythic shells for every 10x run. I believe it's 5 runs will net you at least 1 mythic, little mythic shell if you are running Inferno and you run at least 5 attempts, right? So if you get unlucky, every 5 runs, you'll get at least 1 mythic. As you can see here, though, you can obviously roll above that. I've seen people get, I don't know if have y'all ever seen a 10 out of 10 mythic? I'm sure it's out there, but you know, you can still obviously roll higher than that. That is just a bare minimum. And that's going to net you not only more chances at these Inferno, you know, 333 shells, but also just more reconfigured chips and training data from selling these as well. So a very big improvement to shells, as those have been one of the grindy parts of the game that a lot of people complain about, especially with re-rolling passives and just building Inferno shells at all. And so this is definitely a welcome change. I think for the most part, the PvP loadouts, you know, snapshotting between all the PvP modes, not just Arena, Ether Arena, but you also have it in Fearless Arena, Summit Arena, RTA. Those are all very, very strong. The formation, now that you can save the formations, one click of a button, jump into Grim Pursuit, right? Shell for your shell drops, then jump into Threshold for some Aurora farming, all that at one click of a button. Team loadouts, now we have these saved, and it's saved to the specific different areas, is also huge. So those two alone, my favorite parts of the game. You add in the shell mythic drops, like we just showed y'all, and that's another amazing part of this patch. Last but not least, I don't think there's too much else to talk about. They added up to 54 anti-sync. However, this is a very sweaty and very difficult mode. If you haven't gotten here yet, guys, just be aware. You cannot Vice cheese this. In fact, you can't use Vice or any light units. So be aware that you need to, or fire units. So you need to have some kind of strong Rahu from Earth, or maybe something like a Shiata. A lot of people are running Shiata right now for blue, but last time I checked, there's a few more, but there's only been 5 people total clear Nightmare. As y'all can see, I'm still stuck here on the Nightmare mode myself. Just completed hard not too long ago, but we'll eventually get that done. Just very nice stuff. I think in after reset, don't forget too, another thing in the patch, they added some secret missions or secret levels to this Ember Trek. So stay tuned on that. I'll let y'all know once we find them. But that's not going to reset for another day. Don't forget to lock this out and complete your Ember Trek so you can get your gold lattices. And other than that, guys, I don't think there's anything else too interesting. The Cage Rumble, Nikonana Cage Rumble is coming tomorrow. Don't sweat, though. It actually got improved big time, both in gameplay nerf. They never listed this one, but if you played the original Nikonana on the last day, the Nikonana Cage Rumble, it did indeed get easier. Just trust me on that. And the second thing that was documented, they made the lattice requirements a lot lower. So more y'all will be able to get just more lattices, and it's a very good event. And now that we're a lot stronger too, right? Last time it came around, expect to get higher scores and get a lot more free stuff. So overall, guys, amazing patch, and Lilium is coming soon. I'll probably have a Lilium video out there for y'all. If you don't catch that, make sure you stop in by the live streams where I'll pull for her, or you know, we'll test her out in PvP, PvE, see if she's really the real deal. But I'm going to give you guys a sneak peek and say that I think she's going to be absolutely busted for PvP. We'll test PvE separately, but for PvP, guys, expect she's going to be first pick material where you're going to ban her out if you don't get her, because she is that strong and she's good against multiple different playstyles. So yeah. Anyways, chat, thank you so much. Guys, I called y'all chat again. I apologize. YouTube, thank you so much. I will catch you all in the next one. Peace out, everybody.